Hi, Misfits. This is Kevin.
And this is Kate.
Welcome to Horrorwood.
I drew it out.
I like it.
And this is Kate.
This is Kate and Kevin.
Yes, it's us. What's up?
What up, fam?
I was trying to think of a story to start him with that's not, how are you? But I got nothing. We just took we're doing a 2 recording day. So we took a little break in between. This is recording Nos. And my thumb still hurts.
I'm sorry.
For those interested. Probably cut that because they're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Are you doing mine first and then your two?
I actually don't know. It kind of depends on how the editing goes.
Sure.
How things go because I leave town next week. So.
Oh, I see. I remember. Well, whatever happens, happens.
It sure does. That's the one thing you can count on in life is that whatever happens.
I wish some things wouldn't happen. Stupid joke.
Wow.
Anyway.
Kevin's coming in hot right at the top.
Just right off the bat, I don't know anymore.
You know what? 2 recording days are tricky.
They are tricky because we get to the next episode. Because you and I have already talked for 2 hours.
And I put him to sleep. And so now he's like,
You didn't.
What are words?
No. Kate's story was really good. I love it. Loved it. Whenever it comes out.
Yeah, we don't know.
Why don't we just get started on mine?
Sure, that sounds great.
Okay, well, I'll just shut up and tell you a story. Well, I started my episode off with, before we get started, let me ask you something. And that was, have you heard the song Fairytale of New York?
So Kevin just played it for me. I have never heard that song. I've never even heard that title.
I didn't know that was the title of the song. And I was like, oh, whoa, what's that? Because when I was researching this episode, that kept coming up. And then I listened to it and I was like, oh, holy shit.
Kevin got so upset with me when I had no recognition on my face.
And that's okay. I'm not upset with you at all.
To quote you said, oh, we've got some work to do. I've never heard it.
It's okay. It's not my favorite song, but I like the melody of it. I think the lyrics are fun. It does use a gay slur in it, which is not great. We'll get to it and we'll talk about it. Don't love that part of it, but it's a fun song. I'm into it. If you know Fairytale of New York, let us know and let us know your thoughts about it. And if you haven't, go listen to it.
Because I'm assuming the singer is who we're talking about today?
That is correct.
Okay.
That voice belongs to Kirsty MacColl, and her story is a lot bigger and a lot darker than people realize.
Okay.
Kirsty wasn't just a guest on someone else's Christmas classic.
Because it started with a male voice.
It did. I should have said that song is by the Pogues.
Okay.
Which is a big band in the UK. And Kirsty came on to that song with them. It got released. It blew up and became huge.
All right.
Huge. So Kirsty was a songwriter, a sharp observer of people, and someone who never quite fit the neat boxes that the music industry liked to use.
Gotcha.
She's not as well known, I think, as people, would have thought of her because she was super talented, but that's almost by design. I will say of her choosing.
Okay.
I will say that later on in her career, she's like, I don't want to be this big famous person.
Not everyone does.
I just want to write my music, sing, do what makes me happy,
Yeah.
and go from there. But yeah, there were a lot of times in her career where people were pushing her to be like, she's the next big thing.
Okay.
And
that's
she's
a
like,
lot of pressure.
And she's like, but I'm not, and I don't want to be.
Like, guys, I swear I'm not the next big thing.
I'm not.
I promise you.
Please.
I'm just a regular thing right here.
Right. This is like in the late 70s and through the 80s. She's like, I'm not going to be Madonna. Like, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
Anywho.
But now if I could be Madonna.
Hey.
Let's strike that pose.
I'm going to get 2 party hats from the Dollar Tree.
To put on your boobies?
My boobies.
Okay. Do what you want to do.
Madonna did that, right?
I don't think she went to the Dollar Tree to but, the look was similar.
Anywho, so she had hits, she had setbacks, she worked with everyone from punk bands to pop stars, and she built a career that was very much her own and her choosing.
Okay.
And then, just as things were clicking again, creatively and personally, her life ended in a way that still raises uncomfortable questions.
Oh.
So today we're going to talk about who Kirsty MacColl really was, what happened to her, and why, decades later, people are still asking questions.
Damn.
Stay with me.
I will. This is
Okay.
my home.
Yes. Kate gets up and leaves, and I'm like, all right, well,
guess it's
just you and us, listeners. You and I? Yeah. You
Sure.
and us. I had a weird dream the other night that, like, my stomach was bloated and a little version of me, like, burst out of it.
You gave birth to yourself?
It was like a little demon version.
For some reason, that tracks.
I think so, too. I woke up and I wasn't scared, and I thought, yeah.
You're like, this feels right.
That's about it. That's what therapy is.
Release the demons.
Release the little demon.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
Anywho, so Kirsty MacColl was born on October 10th, 1959 in Croydon, Surrey, now considered part of South London.
Okay.
From the start, it's all about the music. She's surrounded by it, but her family situation is a little bit complicated.
All right.
Her father was Ewan MacColl, who was born in 1915 and died in 1989. One of the most influential figures in British folk revival music.
Oh, wow.
By the time Kirsty was born, however, Ewan was already living a separate life. So she didn't really have a chance to have a relationship with her dad.
Okay. Also, it's weird that we both chose musicians.
I know.
We did not plan that.
We didn't plan that at all. So although he was still legally married to Kirsty's mother, he had been in a long-term relationship since 1956 with American folk singer Peggy Seeger.
Okay.
With whom he had already had a son.
Oh, okay.
So that relationship continued until Ewan's death in 1989. Kirsty's mother is Jean Newlove. She was born in 1923. She raised Kirsty and her older brother Hamish MacColl largely on her own. Jean was a dancer, a choreographer, and a teacher.
Yeah, she was.
She was hot shit.
Yeah.
And she became, she was the head of the household. She was the mother.
Right.
She was the emotional anchor there.
She was doing it all.
Kirsty and Hamish grew up with their mother in Selsdon, which is a residential area around Croydon.
Okay.
Jean later recalled how physically fragile Kirsty was as a child. Kirsty suffered from acute asthma.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, which meant frequent trips to the hospital,
Ugh.
long stays there as well, and long periods in oxygen tents.
Oh, damn.
It was bad.
Yeah.
She almost died a few
Shit.
times. Because of this, she would often miss school. Her mother was just like, sorry, but she's not coming.
Yeah.
So instead, Jean taught her at home when she could, and she encouraged Kirsty to read, write stories, use that imagination, girl. Get into it. And that stuck. Kirsty was super smart, like genius level smart.
Wow.
And at 7 years old, they took her on a BBC documentary about gifted children.
Damn.
Right? She's so cute. You can watch parts of the documentary about her, which I'll link in the show notes.
Okay.
It's black and white. She's on this program, and she's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm super intelligent.
I'm super smart. Over time, Kirsty's asthma begins to ease.
Good.
And Jean believed 2 things helped save her: swimming and singing.
Ah, okay.
She liked to swim.
Because you have to train your muscles in how to breathe and your diaphragm and all that good stuff.
100%. So despite her health struggles, Kirsty was musically curious from an early age.
Musically curious.
Musically curious. Curious about the music.
I like that phrase.
The songs we're singing. She learned the violin, classical guitar, and later the oboe, which I'm super fucking jealous of because I love the oboe and I've always wanted to be able to play it.
Get in a lesson.
I know. But I have to get an oboe and those are not cheap.
Therein lies the rub.
I saw a thing on TikTok the other day of musicians that play fruits and vegetables.
What?
Yeah, they carve into fruits and vegetables and they can play them. Isn't that crazy?
I might have to look that up.
I'll send it to you.
If I could just be playing an apple, make some jolly old music.
Let's do a jig to the cucumber.
Ooh.
Someone has said that to me before, but not in the way you think.
Stop.
I'm sorry. Okay. Learning all these instruments was no small feat for a child who had breathing difficulties.
Oh, well, yeah.
So Jean, her mom, is like, she's a fighter. And that label followed Kirsty throughout the rest of her life. So when Kirsty did attend school, she went to Park Hill Primary School, followed by Monks Hill High School, and later John Newnham High School.
Alrighty.
All in the Croydon area.
All right.
She appeared in school plays, and she seemed comfortable performing up there on stage with all her peers.
Yeah.
She wrote, I believe, I didn't write this down, but she wrote a song for a show that she was in school when she was just 11 years old.
Nice.
It was like her first song.
Oh, cool. She got a little talent.
She does. By the time Kirsty MacColl reached adulthood, it was already clear she wasn't going to have a smooth or conventional career. She had ability, confidence in her own voice, and very little patience for being boxed in, which turned out to be both a strength and a continuous obstacle in her life.
Okay.
Her first real step into music, into the professional music world, would come in 1978 when she sang backing vocals for a local punk band called Drug Addicts.
Oh, wow.
ADDIX.
Just to be clear.
Just to be clear. That band was originally known as the Tooting Fruities.
I can see why they might have changed it.
It sounds like a cereal.
Were they the ones playing the instruments? The fruit?
Oh!
Maybe that's where it came from.
That's where it came from. Kirsty used the name Mandy Doubt for that appearance, not her real name.
Where did that come from?
It was just this pseudonym that she came up with.
Mandy Doubt?
She's like trying to figure out her beginning path in the music industry, and she's like, I'm going to create a persona.
Okay, it's of all the names
Mandy
you could
Doubt,
choose.
I know. It was a little weird. But the band itself did not impress any record executives.
Okay.
Kirsty actually did, though.
All right, she did.
And they signed her to a label called Stiff Records.
Okay.
In 1979, she released her first single, They Don't Know. The song gained a lot of airplay. And I mean, she's like 19, 20 years old at this point. It does really well on industry charts. But a distributor strike meant it never properly reached record shops. As a result, it failed to appear on UK singles chart, despite still being like a popular song. It's kind of weird, right?
It's very similar to, which we haven't recorded yet, but something that goes on with my case.
With your case, okay. She recorded a follow-up single, You Caught Me Out, but left Stiff Records shortly before it was released because she felt the label wasn't fully behind her.
I see.
The single was withdrawn and only a small number of promotional copies survived. In 1981, she moved to Polydor Records, and for a moment, things seemed to settle down a little bit. Her song, There's a Guy Works Down the Chip Shop, Swears He's Elvis. That's the name of the song.
Okay. Quite a title.
I've listened to it. I like it.
What's a chip shop? Oh, like chips. Like fish and chips.
Fish and chips. Yeah.
A shop just dedicated to French fries?
There was a chip shop near where I worked in London.
Was it just chips?
Oh, no. It was fish and chips. You could get a fried sausage.
Gotcha.
It's just all the fried stuff.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think I'm hungry, and this is why
that does sound good, though, right?
Sounding so good.
So, in her debut album, Desperate Character was widely praised.
Okay.
This song about the chip shop comes out. She releases her album, and people are like, we're liking it. We love it.
Yeah.
Still, that stability didn't last. So in 1983, Polydor dropped her just as she completed recordings for her second album.
Oh, damn.
Which was titled Real, which leaned more towards synthesizers and a new wave sound.
Okay.
The album was never released.
Oh.
I feel like that happens to a lot of people. I was thinking back to artists that I really liked when I was a teenager, and I loved the first album, and then we never got a second because it was made. Yeah. And then the label scraps it. Yeah. And they own it. So they can't release it. Ugh. I'm thinking do you remember Fifi Dobson?
I don't think so.
God, I loved her and I wanted a second album, but it never happened. So after that happens, she goes back to Stiff Records.
Oh, okay.
And releases singles including Terry and He's on the Beach, neither of which charted. Then in 1985, she recorded a cover of A New England. Billy Bragg, the song's original writer, wrote additional verses specifically for her to sing. Okay. And the single reached number 7 in the UK.
All right. She's moving up.
Yeah. It became one of her most visible chart successes. Around the same period, she wrote and performed London Girls, the theme song for Channel 4's sitcom Dream Stuffing.
Dream Stuffing?
I'm going to tell you about Dream Stuffing. Because I read that and I was like, what the fuck is Dream Stuffing?
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch this. It's only one season. There's 10 episodes.
Okay.
The show centers on 2 young women from a working class background, Mo and Jude, who live together in a high-rise council building in London's East End. Mo works a low-paying job at a factory that makes glass eyes.
This is amazing.
I know, while Jude is unemployed and relying on benefits, and they share their small flat with an unusual pet, a cat named Tripod, who only has 3 legs.
Okay, this is so British, and I want to watch.
I do too. It sounds so amazing. I don't think it did not last very long, but
dang.
Yeah, we'll have to look into it.
Justice for Mo and Jude.
I know, right? Making those glass eyes.
Too bad she can't make a leg for a cat.
So oddly enough, one of her biggest breakthroughs came when someone else sang one of her songs. In 1983-84, Tracy Ullman recorded They Don't Know, turning it into a major hit in both the UK and the US.
Yeah.
Kirsty sang backing vocals on the track, and she also recorded the notes that Ullman couldn't hit because they were too high.
That would piss me off if I came out with a song and someone else took it and they couldn't even sing it. They get the fame and glory, but I have to back them.
There's this part in the song where it goes, baby, and it's really high. That's Kirsty. That's not Tracy Ullman.
That's wild.
I know. This song went huge, and it launched Tracy in America.
Yeah.
That was her start to American fame. Ullman went on to record several more of Kirsty's songs, including You Broke My Heart in 17 Places, You Caught Me Out, and Terry. In the United States especially, Kirsty became widely known as a songwriter, even when her own recording career was struggling.
Oh.
So people are still taking notice of her in the U.S. as a songwriter, not so much as a singer.
Okay.
In 1985, Kirsty married record producer Steve Lillywhite. Steve and Kirsty met because they were both in the music world. Steve was a very established producer at this time.
Okay.
And he admits in the documentary that they met and I think he gave her his phone number and she was like, oh great, we're going to work together. And he was like, nah, I want to marry you.
Sorry about it, but we're going out.
I will say they did end up working on stuff together, obviously, because he's this big hotshot music producer. So together they had 2 sons, Jamie and Louie. During this period, Kirsty focused heavily on collaboration and session work. When Stiff Records went bankrupt in 1986, she was once again without a contract.
Damn.
But She stayed busy singing backing vocals on records by artists, including the Rolling Stones,
Wow.
Robert Plant, the Smiths,
Wow.
Simple Minds, Talking Heads, and others. Many of them produced or engineered by Lillywhite.
Okay.
So he's like, we'll just come do some studio work for these big bands.
All right. Gotta keep that money in the family.
In December 1987, Kirsty returned to the charts in a major way with the song that Kate doesn't know, Fairytale of New York.
Which I guess is supposed to be popular.
Take a listen on your own when you have a minute. And let me know what you think. I don't love it, but I like her parts. I'll say
I mean, you played quite a bit of it for me.
I did, but it was mostly the guy singing. Because that's like the first half of it. It's like a fight between two people.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, so this song was a duet with Shane MacGowan of the Pogues. The song reached number 2 in the UK, and it was a huge Christmas hit. She toured with the Pogues in 1988, later saying that the experience helped her overcome stage fright. She loved singing, loved music. This goes back to the whole thing of like, I don't want to be this big star.
Yeah.
She's like, I love what I do. I'm not super comfortable performing a ton in front of people. Like, that's just not my thing.
Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Totally. But I do appreciate that she did go on tour with them because she faced that fear.
Yeah.
And she got up on stage and performed. And despite its popularity, she always treated the song as a piece of character-driven storytelling rather than something sentimental. It's well known that the lyrics contain the word faggot. And there was definitely some pushback over the use of the gay slur. The Pogues kind of didn't care. They were like, this is an argument between two people, and like the kind of harshness around that word used is sort of indicative of the meaning of the song.
Okay.
Yeah, there are other words.
Right.
The Pogues left it in. And in January 1992, she made a quiet but deliberate choice during a live Top of the Pops performance by changing that controversial lyric to "you're cheap and you're haggard," rather than like "you cheap lousy faggot."
Oh.
Yeah. Yikes.
Okay.
But she changed it on a live performance. She heard the feedback and was like not looking to make anyone uncomfortable with this.
Exactly. She's keeping with the times. She's responding to feedback.
Well, and also like fag in England also is a cigarette too, so the word is a little bit more prominent.
Right.
After resolving contract issues, she returned to a solo recording with the album Kite in 1989. This album was praised for songwriting and perspective on life in Britain and included collaborations with David Gilmour and Johnny Marr.
Okay.
Her cover of the song Days became a UK top 20 hit. She followed this with Electric Landlady in 1991, which included Walking Down Madison, her most successful North American single. Even so, when Virgin Records was sold to EMI in 1992, she was dropped from the label.
Damn it.
It's awful.
Girl, start your own label.
Her marriage to Steve Lillywhite ended in 1995 after about 10 years.
Damn.
The two separated amicably.
Okay.
Things just weren't working out between them anymore.
Okay.
And it's funny because she previously mentioned in that documentary I was talking about, she had mentioned to Steve, because he's interviewed in it. He was like, yeah, she would always say like, no, none of my songs are about you. But then as time went on and like they're looking to separate, she's like, that one was about you. That one was about you.
I wish I knew some of these songs to have some reference, because I don't know if I know these.
I was like listening to her music while writing this, and some of it got stuck in my head. It's pretty catchy. It's very, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like she uses a lot of different influences from other genres, especially in her later work. And then it also feels very like folky in places and parts of it. I don't know. I do like her a lot, though.
Okay.
She would later fall in love with musician James Knight, and that relationship coincided with a noticeable shift in her writing and outlook. I think things were starting to get better for her at the time. Her 1993 album Titanic Days reflected the breakdown of her marriage and included the song Soho Square. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up now because I'm not going to really mention Soho Square again. But after her death, a bench would be placed there in Soho Square, bearing the lyric that she wrote, "One day I'll be waiting there, no empty bench in Soho Square."
Oh, wow.
Okay, so she just got dropped from the label. This album is coming out and it essentially has to come out independently.
Yeah.
Because there's no one to release it. Luckily, there was a label in the UK, ZTT Records, and they're like, we'll take it and we'll release it for
All
you.
right.
And then in the US, IRS Records, not the IRS, they came in and were like, we'll push it out over here for you.
Okay.
So she had some people backing her with that.
All right.
After years of frustration with the music industry and a prolonged period of writer's block, Kirsty admitted she was ready to walk away from music entirely and become an English teacher in South America.
Wow. What a vibe shift.
I know. She's like, I'm going to drop all this shit and I'm going to go right over to South America. She had started to do a lot of travel at this time. And so she was traveling to South America, to Mexico, to, you know, all these different countries. And she liked Latin American community and music. And that was where she was starting to get into.
Because I was like,
no, it's not just random.
Where did that come
from?
I think, like, spin the globe, point the finger. South America.
Yeah, she would go on vacation over there. I remember watching in the documentary, she went to New York and did some work with like Latin American musicians at New York. And then that brought her to like want to go to South America. So it all links together. So yeah, instead travel changed everything. She loved traveling, got into Latin music, repeated trips to Cuba, Brazil, Mexico, reignited her creativity and shaped her final studio album, Tropical Brainstorm, which gets released in 2000. The album drew on Latin American influences and included the song In These Shoes, which gained airplay in the United States and later gets covered by none other than Bette Midler.
Okay.
It's awesome. Kirsty recorded an 8-part BBC radio series in Havana, interviewing musicians associated with the Buena Vista Social Club and Ry Cooder. That sounds weird.
What was that?
Ry Cooder. RYCOODER.
Okay.
I don't know how else to say that.
I think you said
I
it
think
exactly
I said it right.
as
Exactly.
it should be said.
How was it meant? Even then, the industry was completely unpredictable. She gets dropped by another label before Tropical Brainstorm is released.
Jeez.
Still creatively, she's finding footing again. She's writing with clarity and confidence and sounding fully like herself.
Yeah.
So she's just done this BBC series.
Yeah.
She's with her children. She's with her partner, James, and they go to Cozumel, Mexico.
Like vacation? Or, okay.
Yeah. Because they've already been there. They want to do something fun before they leave. So they go to Cozumel. Louis, her son, was 13, and Jamie was 15 at this point.
All right. They
decide on December 18th, 2000, to take a diving trip with dive master Ivan Diaz at Chancanab Reef.
Okay.
A protected area within the Arrecifes de Cozumel National Park.
Okay.
It was an area meant for divers and support boats for divers. Nobody else.
Got it. Protected area.
Protected area. Yeah. The dive itself had gone well. They were having a blast.
Yeah.
Gorgeous waters, amazing day outside. They're with a dive master who's there to help them and make sure that nothing goes wrong. The group began surfacing calmly. They're coming up from diving, with Louis and Kirsty reaching the surface first.
Okay.
Jamie and Diaz were only moments behind them.
Yeah.
As Kirsty reached the surface, she suddenly noticed a 31-foot-long speedboat.
What?
Later identified as the Percalito.
Okay.
Heading straight toward them.
Turn that boat around, bitches.
There was no time to signal or swim clear.
Oh, shit.
In those final seconds, she shouted, "Look out!" and instinctively pushed her sons away from the oncoming boat.
Oh, my God.
Jamie was directly in its path. When the boat reached him, one of its propellers struck Jamie, but his oxygen tank took the brunt of the impact.
Okay.
Limiting his injuries to relatively minor wounds.
All right.
Kirsty was not as fortunate. The boat passed directly over her.
Oh, God.
One of the propellers struck her with devastating force. The injuries were catastrophic and unsurvivable. Her upper body suffered massive trauma, including severe damage to her head and chest. The propeller caused extensive cutting injuries along her back and torso, and her left leg and part of her chest were nearly severed. She is basically chopped in half by this propeller.
Oh my God.
The violence of the impact caused major tissue loss, which later led forensic pathologist Dr. Richard Shepard to find that Kirsty died instantly without any suffering.
Well, that's good at least.
So, yeah. Louis, her son, later recalled the immediate aftermath. As he swam away in the direction his mother had pushed him, he saw the water around him turn red.
Oh.
He remembered shouting that his mother had been hit and telling the others to swim away and not look back. He said in an interview much later, quote, "I screamed that she'd been hit and swim the other way and not look back." He remembered he was just sort of left there, quote, "swimming in Mummy's blood."
Oh, that is heart-wrenching.
That's awful.
Where the fuck did this boat come from?
Okay, we'll get into it.
What the fuck's it doing there?
I know. Jamie and Diaz were pulled away further by the turbulence of the waves created by the boat.
Yeah.
So luckily they kind of were shoved off to the side.
Okay, good.
Narrowly avoiding further injury to themselves. The speedboat continued forward for some distance before stopping. According to later accounts, a piece of Kirsty's diving equipment became tangled with the propeller, bending a metal component beneath it and interfering with the boat's motion.
Okay.
Only then did the driver realize the boat had struck something. Juan Jose Senyam, the deckhand who later said he was at the controls, claimed he heard an unusual noise from the propeller before slowing down and going to the back of the boat where he saw Kirsty floating in the water.
Oh my God.
By that point, there was nothing that could be done.
He didn't see them as he's like barreling towards them?
Maybe.
Oh.
What actually happened is different than what's prosecuted.
Okay.
We'll get all into it, all up in it. Kirsty's body was left in the water until authorities arrived, and Jamie just recalls like just kind of looking at her body floating there in shock.
Oh, for your kids to have to see that.
Well, and the
that
thing is,
awful.
James, her partner, isn't there with them.
Oh, why wasn't he?
I can't remember why. He was off doing something else while they did their diving thing.
Oh my goodness.
And like he was called to the beach and no one was really telling him what was going on. And then eventually Louis, her son who was swimming in his mother's blood, told him right there on the beach what had happened.
Oh man, she probably just wanted like one last quick little activity with her kids. Hey guys, something fun. Like let's go do this. And you think you're protected. You've got a master diver. You're in a protected area. Like why would you assume
why would this happen? Yeah.
Anything would happen like this?
Yeah. And she's only 41.
Damn.
When this happens.
Oh my God.
After Kirsty MacColl was killed, the focus immediately turned to the 31-foot speedboat, the Percolito.
Yeah.
And the people who were on board that afternoon.
That's where my focus is.
Yep. Understanding who they were and why this had happened became the focus. The boat was owned by Carlos Gonzalez Nova, one of Mexico's wealthiest businessmen. He built a vast retail empire as the head of Comercial Mexicana. Apologies if I'm saying things wrong, I'm trying, but it's a major supermarket chain with hundreds of stores across the country.
Ah, okay.
He co-founded this business with his father, Antonio Gonzalez Abascal, and brothers Antonino, Jaime, and Guillermo.
Do I need to remember these names?
Only remember Guillermo.
Okay.
Carlos owns the ship. He's not on it that day.
Ah, all right.
But his name in this family is important in
Gotcha.
this story. Gonzalez Nova was known for his wealth, influence, and he had huge ties to political and economic power. This is a powerful family.
Okay.
On board the ship that day was Carlos's brother, Guillermo Gonzalez Nova, and his 2 adult sons, whose names do appear in witness statements and court records, but who were never charged. So I'm kind of putting an end with them right here, right now. Because they were on the boat. They didn't necessarily do anything.
Gotcha.
Guillermo had a boating license and was the only person on board legally qualified to operate a vessel like that.
All right.
The Percolito was valued at £127,000, which is roughly $170,000. Expensive boat.
Okay. I guess I just don't know how much boats cost. So I'm like,
that seems like a lot of money. So it was capable of reaching speeds up to 33 knots. That's about like 30 miles per hour.
Okay.
I looked up knots and yeah, that's it.
Looked up knots and
that's it.
That's what I know about knots.
The vessel was powered by twin engines rated at 315 horsepower each, which is a pretty good amount, pretty
All
big.
right.
Traveling with them, so there's Guillermo, there's his two sons, and then there's González Nova's daughter-in-law, who's one of the son's wives.
Gotcha.
And also their 10-month-old granddaughter.
Okay.
So the final person on the boat was Juan Jose Senyam, who was 26 years old at the time. Senyam was employed as a deckhand by González Nova. He did not own the boat and was not known to have any independent wealth or influence. Just want to say that right here. The group on the boat were described by witnesses as sitting toward the front of the vessel near the controls. One of Guillermo's sons, Gustavo, later gave statements insisting there were no divers visible and that the boat was traveling slowly in open water. They didn't see any diver. He says there were no divers. He says it was going very slow in just open water.
Not the case.
No. In the hours immediately following the collision, Semyam went to the police and said that he was the one driving the Percolito.
And he was the deckhand?
The deckhand.
Okay.
He claimed the boat was moving slowly and that he did not see any divers. From that moment on, the official case centered entirely on him. During questioning, Senyam was unable to provide documentation proving he was licensed to operate a vessel of that size. And records later reviewed by investigators showed that he struggled to define basic nautical terms.
That's a problem.
Including what a knot meant.
And you know about knots.
I looked it up.
So you know more than this guy did.
He didn't even know the speed limits.
What?
Inside that area of this marina.
Buddy, you gotta know basic boat things if you're gonna be boating.
He claims that the boat was traveling at 1 knot, which is just a little over 1 mile an hour.
Doesn't sound like it.
He admitted that he had looked away from the controls to answer questions from people behind him while driving. This whole thing sounds weird and fishy. And despite these gaps, his statement was accepted, and there were no charges brought against González Nova or his family members. Right?
Yeah.
Immediately after the accidents, local media reports said Guillermo González Nova initially told police he had been driving.
Okay.
And television footage showed him being led away for questioning.
And Guillermo, just to back up, Guillermo is the one who actually has the boating license?
Yes.
Okay, so he initially said he was driving.
Yeah.
And then that changes to the other guy, the deckhand, saying it was actually him.
Correct.
Okay.
According to Ivan Diaz, the dive master, González Nova repeated that claim at the dock. He's like, no, I was driving.
Guillermo. Okay.
Yeah. I'll stick with Guillermo. That's probably easier.
For some reason, that's the name that sticks out to me.
That's fine. Totally.
I think because you said just remember Guillermo.
Right, and now you're like, Guillermo.
So I'm like, what about Guillermo? Got it.
Love. So Diaz later said when he arrived at the prosecutor's office to give them his statement, he heard Senyam saying that he had been at the helm instead.
Okay.
Diaz admitted he physically confronts Senyam, accusing him of lying. He's like, no, why are you saying that? Guillermo was the one that said he was driving. I heard it on the dock.
Diaz was the dive master.
Diaz is the dive master.
Okay, so let me just, so I'm clear. So the dive master Diaz
Yes.
heard Guillermo say he was the one driving.
Correct.
But then when dive master Diaz goes to give his statement, Senyam, was
Yep.
that his? Okay. He overhears him saying it was actually him. And so dive master Diaz confronts him to be like, why are you saying you did it when I heard Guillermo say it was him?
Correct.
Gotcha. I'm caught up.
Got it. Okay, cool. The story that moves forward and the story that prosecutors prosecute is Senyam,
Okay.
not Guillermo. The legal system moves quickly. Senyam's arrested, and he's released on $9,000 bail.
Paid by? We don't know. Okay.
No, don't know, but I can probably take a guess.
Okay.
And was later charged with culpable homicide. He was tried in a local Quintana Roo state court without a jury. There were witnesses who also saw Guillermo admit this. It wasn't just Ivan.
When you say witnesses, are we talking Guillermo's family members? Or are we talking people
No.
on the beach?
We're talking people on the beach.
Okay.
We're talking everyone else who was around outside of the parties involved.
Gotcha.
Do those witnesses get to trial?
I'm going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The case against Gonzalez Nova is dropped. There's no...
That's Guillermo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Guillermo.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry with these names. So yeah, there's this whole thing going on. They're like, Senyam said he did it. There's this case against Guillermo as well. And then they're like, oh no, it was Senyam. He admitted it.
All right.
So they dropped the case against Guillermo.
Okay.
Okay. And then in 2003, as the trial moves forward, Senyam was found guilty and sentenced to 2 years and 10 months in prison.
Guilty of culpable homicide?
Culpable homicide.
Okay.
Under Mexican law at the time, he avoided jail by paying a fine of 61 pounds.
That's it?
Yep, which is about $90. And that was for each day that he had spent in prison during the time he was being held, which was 61 days.
So he basically just paid £1 a day.
Pound a day.
And that was his sentence.
He was also ordered to pay 1,450 pounds.
Okay.
Which is going to be upwards of a little over 2,000.
Sure.
In compensation to Kirsty's sons, Louis and Jamie.
I can't believe that's it.
And that was based on an amount of the regional minimum wage where he lived in Mexico.
Wow.
Right? This whole thing is a mess. The person who just refused to let the story settle into, oh, well, that was a terrible accident, was Kirsty's mother, Jean.
Come on, Jean. Get it.
And it's worth saying up front, Jean didn't start out as someone who wanted some big crusade.
Sure.
She started out as a mother who got a phone call and then watched the official story take shape without her. And she was like, fuck, no, I don't trust this at all.
Yeah.
The call that her daughter was dead came just 2 days before Kirsty was meant to fly home for Christmas.
Oh.
They talk about there still being half-wrapped presents under her tree at the house.
God.
Jean had been out and got home, and then the phone rang. It was James Knight, her boyfriend, who was on the trip. And Jean later recalled that at first he couldn't even speak.
Sure.
He's trying to muster up the courage to tell her what's happened. And then he managed to tell her, quote, Jean, there's been an accident. Kirsty is dead. From there, Jean was basically forced into detective mode because she says she wasn't contacted by the British consulate, the local police, or the Mexican authorities in either Cozumel or London without any clear explanation, no kind of official support.
That is maddening.
Awful. So she did what people do when they're desperate and no one is explaining anything. She hunted through press and TV coverage.
Yeah.
And the more she read, the more she felt that things didn't line up.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like they do.
Pretty quickly, she had a short list of big questions that never went away. Who was actually driving the boat?
Mm-hmm.
How fast was it going? Had it entered a protected zone where it wasn't supposed to be?
Yeah.
Yes, it did. In her mind, Kirsty was an experienced diver. It's not like this was the first time she was
I was going to ask. I wasn't sure
No.
like what her skill level was.
I think she had some experience,
Okay.
but not a lot. And also, if you're going out with your kids, I would imagine you want someone there to assist and help.
Well, sure.
Jean's also thinking, like, she wouldn't just do something crazy and take risks with her sons.
Of course not.
On their first dive. Sorry, it was the sons' first dives.
Oh, that just takes it to another level.
I know. She's like, I love doing this. Let me take you to do it. Jean also couldn't square the idea that a man as powerful as Gonzalez Nova, Guillermo, would hand over control of a valuable speedboat.
Yeah.
While his own family was on board.
And a baby.
Yeah, to someone unqualified. As the first months passed, Jean's efforts stopped being informal and became organized.
Get it, Jean.
She worked with lawyers and private investigators, and eventually a support network formed around the Justice for Kirsty campaign.
Okay.
The goal was to force this... I tried to go to that website. It's no longer active. Also, don't click anything on it because it takes you to porn. So I don't know what happened there.
Plot twist, okay?
No, it's an old website. Everything's broken. All the images are little things.
Okay.
And if you click on a link, it comes up to subscribe to this lady in black underwear.
Wow.
Don't do it.
Don't plan to.
Good. The goal was to force the case to be looked at properly. Jean's figure this shit out.
Yeah.
What fucking happened to my daughter? It was also a quick process that after this happened, they were like, oh, yep, Senyam was the one driving the boat. He did it.
They just wrapped it up.
Wrap it up. Take it out. Jean up and goes to Mexico twice.
Okay.
The first trip included laying a wreath at sea at the spot where Kirsty was killed.
Oh.
But the key reason for going was to meet witnesses and collect information that hadn't been treated as central the first time around.
Yeah.
When she talked about those trips, she described encountering what she felt was a culture of corruption and intimidation. People were nervous about speaking openly because the Gonzalez Nova family carried weight on there.
Yikes.
She was blunt about it. She wasn't scared of him. She said, in effect, he had already taken what mattered most. As she kept digging, the picture she built was based on witness statements that didn't match that one-knot open water version of the story, especially the one that Guillermo's son told.
Yeah.
She leaned heavily on accounts from the diving world in Cozumel. Ivan Diaz's version mattered because he said that when he surfaced, he saw the Percolito coming toward them from a distance at high speed.
Yeah.
And tried to wave and shout and get attention. We also can't forget what Ivan said, where he heard Gonzalez Nova tell police he had been the one driving.
Right.
And then later at the prosecutor's office, Senyam claiming he's the one who'd been at the helm. Just keeping these things at top of mind. Jean also focused on the logic problems in the official narrative. She can't reconcile that with all the injuries and the chaos, that boat was only going one knot.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely not. And then there was the location question. Were the divers inside the National Marine Park zone where boats weren't meant to enter and speed was restricted? You're only really allowed to have diving boats in that area. It's a restricted area.
Hence the whole protected thing.
Correct. Witnesses she relied on said yes, they were absolutely in that area. The official statements from the boat's side said no. They were like, we weren't in the restricted area. What are you talking about?
Of course.
The two versions can't be true at the same time, and Jean wanted that contradiction confronted directly, not smoothed over. After the court outcome and the 61-pound fine, Jean was pissed as shit. She later said, quote, I had to tell her sons on Mother's Day that that's all her mother's life was valued at.
Well, maybe don't tell them that was the amount.
Right. I was angry. I'm still angry. And she made a point of saying she didn't want money. All I wanted was the truth, she said. And she added that she didn't want anything dirty. She wanted someone to tell her what really happened.
Yeah.
Because there's also this side to this, Kate, that people are thinking that she's doing this because she wants to go after a wealthy family in Mexico to cash in.
Oh, I didn't even, of course people are going to think that. That didn't even dawn on me. No, she's a mom who lost her child. Like, even if that child's an adult, like, that's your baby.
100%. So Jean and her team pushed for a higher legal review. And this is where her campaign becomes really procedural because she wasn't only talking to journalists, she was trying to work the system. Lawyers acting for the family pursued a judicial review. The strategy was to exhaust the options inside Mexico first, and if the federal authorities wouldn't act, take it beyond Mexico.
Okay.
In 2004, the case was officially reopened for review. And a major part of that moment was that private investigators working with Jean said they had new evidence that disputed who had been driving the boat.
I want to hear about this new evidence.
The same year, the BBC aired Olivia Lichtenstein's documentary for BBC4, Who Killed Kirsty MacColl?
Okay.
Lichtenstein explained that Jean wanted the film because she needed the campaign in public view.
Sure.
And the film wasn't framed as a dry legal brief. It followed Jean's emotional and practical pursuit of answers. It's on YouTube. I'll link it.
Okay.
It's devastating.
I'm sure.
Lichtenstein said she wanted people to connect with who Kirsty was first. Mm-hmm. There's a really nice, the first 15 minutes is all about Kirsty's life. Yeah. And there's recordings and images, and there's not too many videos, but there's videos of her performing. Oh, wow. She also described interviewing Kirsty's son, Louis, for the first time about his mother's death, and she remembered being moved by how he handled it. It's so sad because he's still a teenager at this point being interviewed, and he's so sad, but he's like, there's just nothing that could have been done.
That is traumatizing.
It's awful.
For a kid.
So we know that this documentary comes out because they're wanting to pursue the legal thing. And they're reopening the case. It's 2004. I believe what that evidence was. It's the witness statements that were ignored. It was people that were there that she talked to. Also people within the diving community. This is a diving area where people are all the time.
Okay.
So they know this place. They know what happens. Some of them saw what happened. And these were things that were ignored in the original trial. She has the private investigators go and track down every one of these people and get their statements. And they're all saying the same thing. You know,
it's all corroborated and they are not talking to each other, it's just like individual statements. That tells you right there.
Right. And like it's all pointing to Guillermo being the one who's driving the boat. Yeah. Which changes things.
Absolutely.
Right? Liechtenstein said Kirsty's campaign, planned to lodge an appeal with Mexico's Attorney General in Mexico City, someone above the regular federal prosecutor, to try and overturn the decision to close the case. And if that fails, they were prepared to go to the Inter-American Court of Human Rights. Jean kept the pressure on through public and political channels. Bono, who was a friend of Kirsty's, spoke about the case at a U2 concert in Monterey in February 2006. And after that, the Mexican government issued a statement indicating it would take action. Also, in May 2006, Emilio Cortez Ramirez, a federal prosecutor in Cozumel, was found liable for breach of authority in how he handled the case. But even with all of that, the reality was that Jean kept running into the same wall. The core questions weren't being resolved to the family's satisfaction, and the legal system had limits that were hard to break through once a conviction existed.
Ugh, man, she's trying everything.
She exhausts everything. Over time, the campaign shifted toward doing what it could do, which was more so raising awareness, pushing for accountability, and trying to keep the facts from being buried. By 2009, the campaign announced it was ending. Their public line was that they had achieved most of what could realistically be achieved, and that further action was unlikely to produce more. They said remaining funds would be split between Casa Alianza Mexico and Cuba Music Solidarity. And the statement framed it as something Kirsty would have supported. It went to music organizations.
Gotcha.
Around the same time, Carlos Gonzalez Nova died on August 20th, 2009 at the age of 92. Remember, he owns the boat.
He owns it, but he wasn't
on the boat. It was Guillermo that was on the boat. And so far, I haven't found that Guillermo has passed.
Okay.
I couldn't find any record of that. Jean outlived the campaign herself, but unfortunately she passed away in 2017. But she never stopped speaking in the language that drove the whole effort. Truth over money, accountability over closure.
Yeah. I hate that she didn't get to truly, to see any true justice for Kirsty.
I know. There's been a couple articles that have come out this last year, 2025. So by 2025, where things stand feels settled in some ways, but also still unfinished in every other aspect. The legal avenues around Kirsty MacColl's death closed, but the people closest to her are still talking openly about what they believe happened and how it shaped their lives. Her ex-husband, Steve Lillywhite, has continued to be very public about the doubts. Around the 25th anniversary of Kirsty's death, he again questions the official version of events that placed Jose Senyam at the controls of that speedboat. Steve has said flatly that he doesn't believe it. He's been clear about why he thinks the story stuck. In his view, holding a billionaire boat owner responsible would have meant a massive lawsuit no one wanted to touch. Quote, I think they just didn't want to have an enormous lawsuit because he was one of the richest guys in Mexico.
Probably.
Steve has also spoken about how Fairytale of New York lands now, especially after Shane MacGowan's death. Shane was the guy singing in the song.
Right.
He was the leader of the Pogues. He died in November of 2023.
Okay.
And Steve called it a reminder of both joy and loss, something he describes as a genuinely bittersweet experience for him and the boys. Kirsty's sons have also been speaking more openly recently, particularly Louis. Louis, now in his late 30s, lives in London. He talked about how long it took to process what happened when he was 13 and how therapy in his 20s helped him understand patterns in his own behavior that trace back to that day in Mexico.
Yeah.
He's been honest about still having flashbacks, about how graphic the memory is, even now. At the same time, he's made a point of reclaiming parts of his life. He said that therapy helped him get back into the water and onto boats.
Good job, Louis.
Explaining that his mom loved the sea and wouldn't have wanted fear to define his life. Louis regularly attends the annual gathering at Soho Square in London, where the bench is that's dedicated to Kirsty. And he said being there and talking with fans helps keep her memory alive. He's also been clear about what the family wanted all along. He said it was never about money. Yeah. It was about someone taking responsibility.
Exactly.
That's a quote. Jamie, who was 15 at the time, now lives in Los Angeles with his wife and son. He works as a music manager and at one point managed Ellie Goulding.
Oh, wow.
Staying connected to the industry that his mom was a part of. And so Jamie tends to speak less publicly about the accident, less so than his brother Louis. But from LA, he's built his own family life while carrying the memory of what happened to her as a teenager. Together, Louis and Jamie have spoken about how accusations that their family was money grabbing during the Justice campaign only strengthened their resolve at the time. And that is the story of Kirsty MacColl and her unfortunate death in Mexico.
That is traumatizing.
I know.
I can't even imagine. I mean, it sounds like those boys, well, men now, have really done the work and come a long way.
They really have. Great. And everybody tried everything that they could.
Yeah.
But they kept hitting walls. You're also dealing with one of the most powerful families in Mexico.
Money walks.
Yep.
Well, let us know your thoughts on this episode in the comments on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or Spotify at
Horrorwood Podcast.
Or you can send us an email at
horrorwoodpodcast@gmail.com.
We forgot to give a topic for the Misfit Monday Tales, but that's okay. We'll do it another time.
We'll do it another day.
Or you can join any of our subscription platforms, which are on Patreon, YouTube subscriptions, or Apple subscriptions.
And that Patreon link is patreon.com/horrorwoodpodcast.
I feel like we don't even have to say that anymore because I feel like
they know.
They know, and also, do we have links for the others? I mean, I think just go to Apple and YouTube.
Just go to Apple, go to Patreon. Just go wherever you want. I love it.